right, so I sourced a few other questions from some
Great.
of your friends, and this one's coming from AB. And
Yep.
he is asking, for large capacity containerized workloads, do you recommend provisioning a large volume or multiple smaller volumes? Any recommendations on the sizing best practices?
Well, AB, for those who don't know, is one of the great open source software entrepreneurs and engineers, and is CEO of MinIO. And so MinIO is generally speaking, which is a S3 compliant object store, is generally speaking in the world in which you have, like petabytes and petabytes of data, right? And what we've seen is that's a great model, and I'm sure MinIO is used with smaller deployments as well. But in our world, what we see, and I try to give credit to ThoughtWorks, but there's others who have talked about the rise of disaggregated data. And this is sort of the counter to the Snowflake argument, by the way, is you can dump it all into something like that, and it's great, and happy to have ties to Snowflake in the form of Frank, their CEO, being an investor. But what we see, to answer the question, AB's question, is the rise of tiny databases, like shitloads of tiny databases, and small teams. And I mean, one of our, Bloomberg, I think, has publicly said there's 3,500 engineers, assembled into tiny teams, generally tiny teams, using this platform that we helped, support. And there's a gazillion different databases for different workload, different purposes. And that's what we see huge. So that I don't know if we recommend it one way or the other, but that's a pattern that we see a lot of. If you then really need some sense of a larger pool, we do see folks running MinIO on top of openEBS, as AB knows, as well. So that's often a pattern we see. Is it's one easy way to run MinIO is you have openEBS dealing with the disks or because you can basically normalize your environment. Oh, I've got some AWS over here. I've got some EBS or direct attached over here. Okay, that's fine. Let's have a common layer, which is where openEBS comes in. And so every time I deploy MinIO or some other workload, they're truly portable. openEBS has sort of normalized the differences amongst the underlying storage.